the Washington Capitals. They get by the Islanders 2-1. Eventually connects off with a great goal to win it for him. You know, Keith, this team is now, do you consider them a legitimate contender now, given that they've gotten out of the first round and have a lot of confidence?
Yeah, I don't know if they're any more of a contender really than they were yesterday, except for that factor. Yeah. Now that they've got this monkey off their back in terms of getting through a Game 7, the way they've played defensively in Game 7, what did the Islanders have, like 11 shots, some like ridiculously low number like that. There was, even when the game was tied, you kind of hold your breath only because it's tied, but not like the Islanders were really getting very many good shots off, and the Caps were sort of flinging them at the net and just weren't getting their goal. And when Kuznetsov got that one, I think the place lit up, and I think that they're playing with confidence now. They've played the Rangers so many times during the season, so I think it's kind of wide open. Not very different than the basketball side of things, to be honest with you. But you probably watch Caps more than I do. So
well, yeah, Mike, is this a different Caps team? Is this a Caps team that can make a run in the playoffs, or is this the same group we've seen before?
Oh, it's definitely a different team.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the style they're playing. They're hitting people left and right. I mean, they knocked 3 defensemen for the Islanders out of that first round series. They keep playing that heavy hockey, which is what Barry Trotz has been preaching since he's been here. That's a style that has been productive in the playoffs for other teams like the Chicago Blackhawks, like the Los Angeles Kings, who have won recent Stanley Cups, Boston Bruins. If they can get by the Rangers, there's no team left in the playoffs that they can't beat, because the Rangers are the best team left.
Mark, what do you see happening for the Caps? I mean, is this a team that has a high ceiling too? Like
this might be a different, but how many times have we heard this is a different team? This is a different team.
We have.
It still says Capitals. It's still the Capitals in the playoffs.
The core three is still there: Ovechkin, Backstrom, Green.
If anybody was watching Capitals over the years, was watching last night, and the third period starts, and they give up the tying goal, and then
on a trickler,
on a shot that should be saved, and then they don't put the puck in on an open net.
Yeah.
I think you saw the same old Capitals. I don't think if anyone thought at that point they were going to come back and win after watching the Capitals over the year. I think it's still, prove it to me. I mean, this is we've seen this before. Let's see it come out a little differently this time.
Mike, my question would be, the Capitals certainly won the series. Great win for them. They have a lot of confidence. But the Islanders were so shorthanded. They were missing their best defenseman, 2 other defensemen. Another guy in Game 6 was out for 10 minutes, and they still couldn't put him away. What does that say about the team? Or do you throw that away now that they've advanced?
You throw it away because you're starting fresh, but it's also a very different challenge they're going to face with the Rangers. The Rangers are much deeper defensively. Dan Girardi is going to be out there against Alex Ovechkin every shift. The secondary pair for the Rangers is going to be much more experienced, much more veteran than the Islanders had. So the challenge is definitely a lot different. You throw it out a little bit because it is a fresh series. They are familiar opponents with the Rangers, but this Caps team, they have a different style about them that I think is more relentless. After they win in Game 7, they would have been jumping around in the past. Locker room last night was pretty tranquil, pretty calm, even keel. After winning a game that, as Mark pointed out, they lose that game all the time.
They do.